Welcome everybody to Tarot and Astrology for All.com. I am David, your friendly neighborhood tarot reader.
Nothing but a beast here.
And nothing but a beast here, right? Alright. So, what we're doing today is a reading for Gemini, right? Now, here's a little special message that I have for Gemini because I did a live reading for you guys last night. However, the way in which it was recorded, Spirit told me that it wasn't necessary to do it in such manner. Maybe it needs time to develop, etc., etc. Maybe it was done in the wrong manner in terms of what I was doing as I was doing the reading. However, one thing that I have noticed is that the message itself is an important message. So that's what I'm going to start off with right now. So yesterday, you had the undressing of a salad in the reverse. And the undressing of a salad was talking about an imbalance of some kind. The imbalance here was on an emotional level. And as far as your action space, there was it was almost like wondering whether you should be investing more time, more energy, more resources, whatever it is, into something that was bothering you. Now, I feel like one of the biggest aspects of it, because Solace was in the reverse in your feeling space, what it was describing to me was that your ability to move on, or at least your feelings of wanting to move on, wanting to move forward, the idea here is that you're seeking your personal happiness, and that's what you're actually taking action on. The collection of pixies, usually if they don't have anything to do, then they engage into mischievous acts. So I would say keep yourself busy. Keep yourself busy with something that makes you happy. The dice on that side was the sun, and then it has Jupiter and the North Node. So right now you have Uranus and the North Node in Taurus. So this North Node energy, the energy of expression, has to do a lot with expressing your expressing who you are, but expressing your own individuality, if that makes any sense. What is it that makes you unique is what Uranus asks you when it asks you to really analyze that energy. And right now that Uranus is reverse, that's exactly what it's asking you. It's asking you, do you know what makes you unique? And if you do know what makes you unique, then are you going to move forward on that? So, but with the honesty card in the reverse at the bottom of the deck that I drew last night, it's asking you to be honest with yourself in this endeavor. And so, because here's the thing, there's been a lot of contemplation that you've had, Gemini. Your energy here is the energy of the bee, and for last night's draw, and the bee is a very, very hard-working energy. It's a very earnest energy. It's an energy of the mind, because the mind drives a lot of what the heart and the physical body does. And then, of course, you had the peacock. Now, I'll go ahead and show you guys the cards that you guys drew, right? So, Chariot, Peacock, the bee and the peacock in the middle is essentially showing me that not only do you realize that you're a hard worker, but you also have the ability to understand beauty. And so, not just beauty, but I feel like you see your inner beauty. And whatever it was that was acting as an influence that was not allowing you to be able to move past, the gnome type energy is a type of energy that is, I guess you could say, mischievous, but it's not completely malicious. If you really take a look at the gnome, do you see anything malicious in his countenance? You know, his face, his movements, right? This energy right here is more of like a playful, mischievous energy. It's not really an energy of trying to like do any harm to you. So that in the thought space, together with the reading, or with the card from the reading from yesterday, which was the undressing of a salad, is that whatever this was that was making itself somehow was making itself seem like an energy that was stopping you, or maybe even other people were telling you things, and you're actually finally coming to the realization that you actually got to be honest with yourself about some of those things that people have said. Now, the one thing that I find interesting is that you're just pursuing your personal happiness, Gemini. Like, I don't blame you for that. I mean, everybody should be going for their personal happiness, but I feel like whatever this influence was, whoever this person was that that caused you to think about everything that's going on right now, it was to show you that, you know, you have a lot more power than what you originally thought, but like you also have more ability, you have more since this connection, or whatever this connection is, because I feel like it is a connection of some kind, it led you to understand that you have power, you have joy, you have the ability to be able to manifest whatever it is that you want. And that's why I feel that a lot of you Gemini are focusing on whatever's going on here, and you're like, do I really need to be putting more time and energy in it? Is it something that's making me happy? And if it's not, well then I need to do something that makes me happy instead of messing around with whatever's going on and making things worse. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but that's going to make sense to somebody. Now, the peacock, it shows that you have an inherent beauty to you. You don't have to, what's the word? You don't have to fight it. You don't have to battle it. You don't have to feel like you have to go up against it, because I don't remember what the other card was, but you have the Singer of Transfiguration. When I was shuffling the cards as I was doing the other video, I had to redo it, come back on this one, and that Singer of Transfiguration is letting me know that because it's there, you have the energy to be able to transfigure, transmorph, or change the energy that's around you, to transform it. So let's see what else we get from here and see how it correlates with Solace in your reading last night. See the Spirit Dancer. So it comes out again. The idea is that you have to reach out with faith. That right now what's going on is very much faith-based. And my dog going crazy, I guess, is in some way, shape, or form adding to that. Now, the gnome is 2 and 6. So decisions that are needed to be made on an everyday level or on a in the physical plane. And then 3-6, which is creativity that is cultivated on an everyday level. But this is also an 8 and a 9 as far as like the progression of the numbers. So 2 plus 6 is 8, 3 plus 6 is 9. And what this is telling me is that your personal happiness is something that you have to reach for, but at the same time, this is something that you don't necessarily have to, like, it's something that people don't necessarily have to see. However, you just have to understand that the vision is there and you have to reach for it yourself. That's what the Singer of the Spirit Dancer is telling me. Sometimes sometimes you just have to reach out in faith. Like that's the only way that the universe can allow you to know that as your intuition leads you in various different directions and locations, it is your faith that really drives a lot of what happens to you. And so as you do this, I feel like you're going to be coming out of this unhappy space, whatever this unhappy space was. I feel like whatever it was is over, because look at that. You have 1 and 2, which is a 3. So you have 8, 9, and 3. 8, 9, 3. Maybe you guys have been seeing the angel number 893. All right, so Leista's moon, Leista, Moon's daughter, is at the bottom. You know, this card came out for Leo, if I'm not mistaken. And this energy was like the energy of discernment, illumination. Can't really remember what else is there, but we'll read the book here shortly. So Penelope Dreamweaver right behind that. Listen to your dreams. Your intuition will reveal lots of things. Be on the lookout for signs. Maybe even some out-of-body experiences, things like that. When you have all of these cards right here, if you can take a look, they're all kind of like mystical. A lot of them have spiritual capabilities to them, and as if you noticed, all of them have wings. So there's a little something in this that has to do with wings. The one thing that comes to mind is angels, and for you to read upon angels, what angels really look like, the actual view of what an angel is according to various different reports, is actually quite scary. It's like this creature with a bunch of wings and then a bunch of eyes around it. Now they say that's technically what an angel looks like. And just yesterday I seen a video that my significant other was showing me, and it was one of those videos that was talking about how angels, at least from the biblical perspective, are actually male. So if you see any angel-like thing that's female, that's really a an arbiter of evil. Basically, it might not be a good thing. But I don't know. I would say go ahead, take a look at all of the different information that you can find on angels, because that might be helpful. So let's go to 26, that old gnome, right? So the gnome is a trickster. It's creative chaos, so you can actually use this energy for your advantage. It brings wild gifts, and it's definitely a card of breaking habits. So in a way, if you feel like there's been bad habits that have been keeping you stuck, maybe keeping you feeling like you haven't really gotten the complete joy out of whatever it is that you've been investing in, then what ends up happening is that you have to take the time to really search inside your spirit and try to see what makes your spirit dance, right? What makes your spirit happy, joyful, what re-energizes and renews your spirit, as opposed to moving away. As opposed to like just sitting in the energy that drains you, right? So the singer and the chalice upside down, it's telling me that there is a lack of joy still. But the fact that the singer of the chalice is there is letting us know that whatever bad habits you may have had, whatever bad patterns you may have encompassed into your life and maybe have grown as part of your routine, there is a necessity to flip that on its head. That's necessary in order for you to understand the joy and the energy that the universe is sending to you. So this trickster who exists in every world, he comes to us wearing our own faces to fool us into thinking that his ideas are our own. He brings creative chaos into our lives, helps us break down old habits by showing us how silly they are. He encourages us to fall on our face so that we get a different point of view, looking up past our mud-smeared noses. He helps us to get ourselves into situations in which we discover gifts we never knew we had. Often because there is no other way out of the mess we got ourselves into. Now, what this is describing here is sometimes in order for you to know what strengths you have or what weaknesses you carry, you have to be tossed into situations that either illuminate those strengths or illuminate those weaknesses. And that's exactly what's going on for you during the month of for the rest of November and the month of December, for the rest of this year. And basically, there's no other way for you to understand these skills, talents, and abilities until you get placed into a situation that brings them forth. Yes, kind of sucks if you really think about it, but really that's the only way that we learn, through experience. So that gnome tells wild and wonderful long-winded stories, complete with demonstrations of the action and much arm waving. An online group member says, he adds, that gnome is full of knowledge, but the trick is sorting out the truth from the fiction. So you might be dealing with truth that's hidden within lies, and that might be something that might be making you unhappy, because then you have to really think, you have to sit there, you have to analyze things, really takes time away from whatever it is that you're trying to do, because this is something that just sits on your mind, Gemini. So the contemplation, yes, that is something that is going to be necessary, but it's not a contemplation for the issues that are going on, as opposed to understanding that you're supposed to learn whatever the lesson is, forgive, forget, and then move on. That's the key here. You're already ready to move on. It's just you have to reach out in faith towards those areas in which you're needing to go in, because I feel like in some way, shape, or form you still have some doubt. All right, so when you start the reading with reversed gnome, in a way, a trickster is always reversed, and sometimes even perverse. Sometimes the reverse is even reversed into other dimensions. Standing on his head, that gnome could be saying, "Be careful, there is trickery going on," or "He who hesitates is lost," or "Play it safe," or "Fools rush in where angels fear to tread." But this isn't necessarily a bad thing, because sometimes fools accomplish things that angels thought it was impossible, or complete honesty may not be the best policy, but lying is definitely not the best policy, or discretion is a better part of valor. So, there's a lot of contradiction in these. So, for instance, "Be careful, there is a trickster going on," or "He who hesitates is lost," or "Play it safe," right? Doesn't really give you any clear information on what you should do. However, that gnome is bringing you attention to the things that do need change. So pay attention to the language, the voices that are passing on information. Discern the truth out of the lies. Don't completely block the person or completely say that, you know what, everything you say is false, because there is some truth behind it. There's truth inside the lies. All right, so fairy guides and guardians. The undressing of the salad is one of them. And so is the spirit dancer. So the spirit dancer is about self-expression, freedom, and exploration. I mentioned that because of the sun, and you got three suns basically. You have the sun card in the tarot, you had the Solace card, and then you also had the sun on the die that I rolled. So there's a lot of expression that is needed to happen by you, Gemini, and this expression is going to lead you to freedom. It's going to lead you to personal liberation. So the spirit dancer understands both sides of self-expression. In the first stage, we get our inner vision, feelings, and creative impulse out of the world through our art, whatever that is. Then our expressions are reflected back to us from the mirror of other people's perceptions, and we discover what our art awakens in them. First and most important, for many of us, we learn, grow, and lead more satisfying lives if we have ways of expressing our inner world. So as you express your inner world, your outer world actually becomes that much more illuminated, that much more expansive, and that much more beautiful. So such expressions can be a way of helping ourselves better understand our feelings and experiences, or they can be a way of getting pain out where we can look at it and then let it begin to heal. Creative expression is a method of exploring our own truth, bringing it into the light so that we can see it more clearly, and maintaining sanity. So there is this sense about truth, self-honesty, and actually it has to do with self-care. Like, there's no other way to provide self-care for yourself without being honest with yourself first. So if we really take the key words here, they're exploration and experiment. Explore, experiment, and express. As this very cryptically remarked to one oracle reader, the death of spirit dancer is perfection. Interesting. Well, of course, if you really take the information that we've learned so far right now, it's that creative expression is a must for you, Gemini. Whatever that is, however that manifests itself, this is something that is going to heal you, but it's also going to show you your inner beauty, and it's also going to reveal to you just how powerful you are. All right, so since this energy is not reversed, now is the time to focus and really concentrate on a project or a process. especially one involving the creative arts. So anything having to do with music, with speaking, public speaking, podcasts, YouTube, Rumble, whatever it is that you're into and whatever it is that you can get into, in which you can share your creative expression. That's what's being asked of you. Spontaneity, balanced by self-discipline, will help us achieve our goals. Strive for elegance and simplicity. This is a time to bring out and share qualities that we have nurtured in private. All right, so Gemini, what you're being called to do is to express your creative expression, your creative abilities, bring them out. But when you do bring out these gifts, these talents, these abilities, strive for elegance but simplicity. Like, whatever it is that you need to do, make sure that it's something simple, but that it looks good, right? This is something that you've been working on for a while. Like I said, this could be music, this could be poems, this could be, production, this could be video, arts, visual arts, whatever it is that you're into. This is what it's asking you to look into. So the spirit dancer is basically letting us know that as you do that singer of the chalice energy, where maybe you don't feel as much joy as you wanted or expected, or you yet haven't seen the joy in your life on a physical level. This is letting you know that first, things have to change on a not just a thought level, right? But it has to change right here in the heart space, because as you do the changes here and here, what ends up happening is that this is changed as well. A lot of it has to do with the change of your thinking habits, a change of your emotional habits. This doesn't really seem too much to talk about changing your physical habits, but this is more of like your emotional and your mental habits. So as I mentioned with Laista's moon, there's light that's being cast upon various different habits that you need to get rid of, Gemini. And at the same time, there's an illumination of the things that you feel are confusing to you. I feel like some of you Gemini are actually communicating with Source and letting you guys, and Source is giving you those answers little by little. So, yet in the process of guiding us, Laista may pull a veil of cloud across the face of her mother, the moon. And 3 steps later, we fall into a bog. That should wake you up. Okay, so illumination, raising consciousness, changing old habits, and just bringing about the happiness that you're looking for through your creative expression. I feel that as you do that, that energy is just going to be an upward spiral for you. All right, so with Laista Moon's daughter at the bottom in the upright, you may be finding apparently random events and ideas are falling into a pattern and beginning to make sense to you. This is the pattern that you should be following. This is the type of pattern that you should be building upon. Things may be flowing more easily than you are accustomed to, and your decisions and choices may be bringing an unusually high degree of success. Psychic abilities, hunches, intuitions, foreknowings are becoming clearer and making more sense. So, trust the process, right? It's all happening for you. It's all happening in your favor. Laista brings psychic dreams. So remember, I was telling you, pay attention to your dreams. Forelighting the future and illuminating the present. These dreams often speak in symbols, as fairies want to do. So remember, pay attention to your dreams. If you feel tired, if you feel like maybe you need to take a nap, there might be a message there. So go ahead, take a nap. Go ahead, meditate. Do whatever you feel that it's telling you to do, and it'll turn out very nicely for you. So, looking at the chalice now, because I feel like it was necessary to do the things in this manner. It's about trust, joy, patience, creativity, hopes, and miracles. So the miracles that are supposed to be happening on the physical level, they're all as a manifestation of the emotional and mental and even conscious energy. You have to be more conscious in order to be aware of your problems, in order to turn those problems on their head so that you can be successful, or you can be happy, or whatever it is that you're initially doing it for. So the singer holds a chalice from which a rainbow of energy pours, like the richest wine. Trust, love, patience, these are the things we think of having or not having. And we even give ourselves credit for having them as if we made them ourselves. And yet they are natural energies of the cosmos, which flow through the chalice and through us when we are open to them, and flow around us when we are blocking them. So there is a necessity to understand that love and hate are not two sides of the same coin. This is something that I found out yesterday. But love is not simply the absence of hate, nor is hate the absence of love. They are altogether different things and can be seen easily. And the example the book gives is that when we are angry, it wears us out and leaves us feeling like less than we were. But when we love, it energizes us and we feel larger and richer than we were before that burst of love began flowing through us. That's very much true if you really think about it. And if you really analyze that idea, then it's to say that love and hate are not two sides of the same coin. However, I do feel like they are extremes. But extremes of what? Well, who knows? Maybe that'll be something that we all find out as a human race later on in the future. So, in the reverse, trust is what enables us to be open to other parts of the song of the singer of chalice. Without enough trust in the process to open our hearts, we close ourselves off from the singers and the song, decreasing the amount of all those other powers and energies that we allow to flow through us. We can never close off any part of the song entirely, so this tells us that there is a little bit of courage or hope or whatever we can find within ourselves, and use this as a key to open the door to more. When we perceive the song of the singer to be muted, its chalice to be dry, it is only that we need to ask ourselves, why not? And then, don't even try to answer that, just open your heart's door. So, opening your heart's door, this is what's going to lead you to that personal happiness, but it's also going to lead you into a forward direction where you see your inner beauty, everybody else realizes your hard work, you do what you need to do in order to tend to yourself by being honest with yourself and caring for yourself, and then from that energy, you move forward and you express yourself in the best way possible. So, Jesus Christ. So, man, this is making way more sense. I feel like your joy, Gemini, is on the rise. This energy right here is basically letting me know this energy is not stagnating. This energy is based on faith, as I mentioned, and there will be a necessity to really take a look at everything that you have done and find out where it is that you really want to go. That's important, understanding your direction. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at the astrology while I go ahead and shuffle your guys' Rider Tarot weight. Alright. You know what? Something that I haven't been doing is paying attention to chat. I haven't really been seeing any chat. Hey, Beast Vision. What's up? What's up? This is a reading for Gemini. So, if you have any parts of your chart that have Gemini, then this will pertain to you in some type of way. This is energy that's going on for the rest of November and going into December. And so, okay, so Gemini. To start off, you have Mars in your first house. Be assertive in your language. Be assertive in your communications. Don't really express too much of your inner workings. Don't express too much of your inner truths just yet. That is being held off. Your individuality and where you're needed headed in terms of your career direction, your where your soul is taking you. It's all based on your values. So pay attention to that, Gemini, and take a look at what your values are. Make sure that your values are consistent through and out, right? Also, pay a lot of attention to what's going on in your outer circles, right? Your Aquarius areas, right? Your co-workers, your friends, your acquaintances. They're each going to reveal to you various different things that may trigger your anger. And this might happen a lot somewhere around the work setting, but don't allow yourself to run with the emotions that you feel with it. There's a necessity for you to observe it because there's a key to unlocking certain bad habits that you have or certain defense mechanisms. Another thing I do want to point out as well is that there might be a lot of lies, a lot of veils and things like that in your work sector. Don't pay too much attention to them. Pay more attention to your own spirituality, your own belief systems, because that's what's really going to blow up everything that has to do with work. Now, because you have Saturn in Aquarius, ooh, and look at that, the Ten of Swords came out. So there are things coming to an end. I feel like very much because we're talking about co-workers, we're talking about negative influences, we're talking about things that trigger you. There's going to be a necessity for you to have patience with that. Be patient with the way that things are told to you. A lot of the times it might not lead you to personal happiness, but they are trying to tell you something there, and there is some sense of knowledge. All right, so this might actually pertain to you. So there are changes going on in the space of, actually, you know what, I'm gonna throw this one back in. So there's a lot of changes that are going on in the space of your life, your the way that you seek truth. A lot of the times you had to seek truth through lies, but I feel like that period is over. After this, you're gonna understand quite a bit, and you're actually gonna understand who is in your friend circle, who's not in your friend circle, who shouldn't be in your friend circle, right? And who should. The ideas here is that you pay attention to your relationships, because there's a lot of relationship energy in there. You have the sun and the moon conjoined, right? So new moon in Sagittarius. You also have Mercury, and you also have Venus in there. So very much a lot of contemplation, a lot of trying to understand the values of not just yourself, but what's going on in your relationship and whether those values align. In order for this to happen, though, you have to seek higher knowledge. You have to seek spiritual knowledge. This is something far beyond psychology. This is something far beyond sociology. This is having to do with intuitive faculties. This is having to do with understanding your intuition and understanding how to use it, because this is what you're heading towards, the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is a master of money. She keeps the whole kingdom running, whereas the king is more responsible for things like diplomacy with other countries, ensuring that things like the military are set, understanding that there is a necessity to protect oneself from other entities, or to go to war with another entity when something has been done to their country. Now, Queen of Pentacles, she focuses more on the nurturing aspect of a country, or the nurturing aspect of a business, or the nurturing aspect of a relationship. And she's very slow and steady when it comes to her decisions, or when it comes to her language, right? Whatever she says. And anything that she says is going to weigh very heavy, but it's going to have weight to it. That's what I meant. It's going to have weight to it. But everything that she decides is always leading to some type of financial stability, or some type of financial truth. That's actually very, very interesting, because when we think about Venus, searching for higher knowledge is exactly how you get to the Queen of Pentacles energy. It's a very solid and stable energy. Might not be comfortable, but it's actually a very good, it's very stable, very comforting energy. Almost, it's actually what I would say is the step down from the Empress. So here we got Judgment coming out for you. Judgment, in a sense, is letting you know that whatever it is that you need to make the decision on in terms of faith. And of course, Gemini, you are already feeling this energy. I already know. It's not that there's anything new happening, but that the people are rejoicing in the effects of a decision that has to be made. The 20 right there, 2 and a 0, is a decision that's made off of potential energy. And of course, when you think about anything that has potential that hasn't really materialized, you're talking about something that has to be done with faith. So the Judgment card is also a card that lets me know that you will be renewed if you make this decision. And if you don't, well, you are just going to be remaining stuck in the same location that you are right now. Same feelings, same energy, same people trying to attack your spirit, etc., etc. Whatever it is that you're stuck in. I'm telling you, you have the world at your fingertips. You have the motherfucking world at your motherfucking fingertips, guys. Gemini, I am not lying to you when I say that things are going to be going slow and steady for you. Have patience. Be patient with the process, right? That's exactly what the universe is trying to show you, because look at, as you're patient with the process, boom, your pentacles will come in. Now, because you have the Page of Pentacles, this could be messages that are slowly coming in. These are intuitive messages, I would imagine, because this focuses a lot on consciousness and your mind, your consciousness, your mind, and your heart. You already know what these opportunities are. You probably even know what these communications are too. I probably don't have to say very much. However, I will say that they might be communications as to some new business, maybe an entrepreneurial business. Maybe it has the ability to generate you some type of coin, something having to do maybe with communication. But it's something having to do with arts. So whatever it is that it has to do with arts, anybody who is a Gemini rising, Gemini moon, Gemini sun, or even I would say Gemini North Node, or even Gemini Chiron, at this point in time, you're going to be given an opportunity, and you have to be cognizant of whatever that opportunity is, and you might have to extract the truth out of that opportunity among the lies, whatever that means. Well, whatever that means to you. Now, this is what you're headed towards. You're headed towards legacy wealth. If you can do this, if you can make this decision, you're headed towards legacy wealth. Now, and I mean, you cannot make this stuff up, because all of these are pentacles. And then, of course, the thought space is pentacles. So a lot of you guys can be thinking about money quite a bit. Let me go ahead and see what's in the middle of it. So we're going to go ahead and cut the deck in half. All right, so whatever it was, it had to do with some type of heartbreak, some type of disappointment. Might not even be heartbreak, but it's some type of mental or some type of spiritual disappointment. Doesn't really seem spiritual, because that's the direction that you're going to be heading in. So I feel like it's emotional, and the spiritual aspects of it are supposed to help heal this unhappiness and help to activate your faith a lot more. All right, so we're going to go on to the animal spirit deck now, and we're going to go see what the animal spirits have for you. Now, I mentioned that in the previous draw that I did for you, Gemini, last night, there was Solace, there was the collection of pixies in the reverse, and there was, what was that other card? Oh, my phone just turned off right when I was about to open it. All right, so okay, so it was the undressing of the salad. Okay, so as far as the animal spirit cards goes, you had the bee, and then you also had the peacock. The bee and the peacock together, it shows somebody who's very, very valuable, somebody who's very beautiful on the inside and outside, I would say too. And it's also a card that describes inner beauty, and it's not what's on the outside that makes a person beautiful, but it's what's on the inside and how that inside is expressed. We're talking about expression here for you, Gemini, and expression is what's going to bring the world to your hands, to your fingertips. Refining your expression, I feel, is one of those things that might be necessary to do. Look at that peacock at the bottom, and then the phoenix at the bottom too. Basically, what this choice is something having to do with realizing your inner beauty and transforming through that transforming the process of looking at things from a negative perspective and looking at them from a positive perspective. Extremes. All right, so there's a necessity for some of you guys to encompass some type of routine in your lifetime that can activate your chakras, right? Kundalini awakening, things like that. Whatever it is that you can do to empower yourself, to empower your chakras, I would say do it. Kundalini meditation or Kundalini yoga. Kundalini yoga would actually be a very good habit for you to start up. And something that is going to help you to cool down your emotions and to help you build confidence. I'm throwing that back in because it jumped out. So let's see what we get for the animal spirits. You know what? I better read the book in order to see how to bring that into balance, because you know, it's one thing to give you information, but it's another thing to help you to learn how to balance that energy. Okay, so when it's out of balance, you might tend to blame others, or you might quit easily. That's something that you might experience a lot in your life, Gemini, to the ones that I'm specifically talking to. But if you want to bring that into balance, you have to move through the discomfort. Stop blaming others. Stop quitting whatever it is that you quit every time you feel depressed or anxious, and have that energy of wanting to grow and that energy of wanting to be something that is better than what it was, than what you were yesterday. That's the best way to aim. So let's draw a card and see what we get. The Panther. I feel there's some envy. Not sure whether that envy is towards you or whether that envy is from you. We're going to go ahead and see that. We're going to go ahead and see what this is all about. Earthworm energy. All right, so there's a necessity to look at things as if you have never... okay, so transformation is being blocked. I did mention something about transformation, transfiguration in the beginning. Don't consider it impossible. Consider it as the idea that in order for you to have this change, you need to learn how to walk the spiritual within the physical, and you also have to learn how to walk the physical within the spiritual. Now, this Phoenix card right here is talking about understanding what it is that you need to know, or what it is that you need to understand in order to make that transformation in your life. So let's go ahead and see the book and see what we realize with the Panther. Okay, annihilation of the unnecessary and purging. So yes, there is a necessity to purge things. Everything right here is telling you, get rid of the negative things that have been holding you back. Flip those things on their head. Be patient. Move slowly. Your pentacles will come. And approach things with the new vision. Approach things as if you were a newborn. Basically, act as if it was day one. And then as you act as if it's day one, you're gonna start to learn new things that you didn't see before, because the Panther won't stand to see our growth or energy stagnated. Instead, it pounces in our lives and causes all kinds of havoc, with the ultimate intention of bringing us towards more fulfilling lives. So that's what you're headed towards, Gemini. With the ultimate intention of bringing us towards more fulfilling lives, it's unexpected, uncomfortable, and sometimes devastating energy. It tends to really bring our attention to whatever is going on. And then as the dust clears, it's easy to see the Panther's wisdom at work. We've all been through these experiences, and they've made us better people. Trust that the Panther's journey always leads to a brighter place. So trust, 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 trust. Trust the universe, trust the process. Trust the universe, trust the process. Trust the universe, trust the process, be honest with yourself. Trust the universe, trust the process, be honest with yourself. If that makes any sense. I had to repeat that because I feel like some people don't know what that means. So as you trust yourself, you trust the universe. As you trust the universe, you trust the process. As you trust the process, you trust yourself. Now, bringing this self-destructive energy that you might be carrying within you into balance, you have to get rid of that unnecessary stuff that is holding you back, because once you do that, you're actually brave and you're productive and you're using your time wisely. Time is money. I don't know if that's something that maybe you've heard in World of Warcraft, but it comes from the goblins. And the goblins, well, you know, when you think about their propensity for knowledge, time is money. They're literally telling us what we need to know. And It's so weird that, like, since that time, I've always had that, like, thought process. I know Beast Vision. I was thinking the exact same thing. Dude, that thought has been sitting in my mind. Yes, exactly. Time is money, friend. Like, dude, there's a fundamental truth to that. You can never get your time back, right? Just like once you've wasted money, there's no way that you can get that money back. Yes, you're going to get new money, but that old money, leave it. Let it be in the past. All right, so the earthworm, we're going to go on to the earth energy. There's a necessity for you to share your inner vision. To specifically, if I'm talking to you, Beast Vision, then it's time for you to share your inner beast vision. Like, this is what you're being called to do right now. So this energy of the earthworm, you might be shy, you might be hesitant, you might be reluctant to really share your skills, your talents, and your abilities. There is something about the energy of the raccoon that I was feeling last night, and the same energy of the raccoon, where you've been working on your craft, you've been perfecting it, you've been working at various different angles of it, and there's a specific necessity now for you to put that out, because there's a certain level of progress you've made, and that certain level of progress that you've made so far is what's going to start the process for the Page of Pentacles to make its slow forward movement. Whatever is slow, whatever happens over time, is always going to last and stand the test of time. And if it does fall apart, it's going to be something that falls apart naturally, and it's going to be something that you choose to fall apart, or you choose to end, or something along that line. So we've all felt the woes of the earthworm at some point along the way. The earthworm indicates a newbie or novice working to establish confidence in a new field. So some of you guys might actually be engaging into something new as well. Any of you guys who have Chiron in Gemini will also be experiencing this thing too. Others around you may seem wise and experienced, but it's important to remember that they once felt earthworm energy too. This card is a reminder not to be intimidated or lose hope. Mastery takes time, and you're on the right track. Besides, rumor has it, a beginner's mind offers the most valuable insights. You know what? I've experienced that myself, where I've been able to offer valuable insight, but I've also had valuable insight offered to me too. That's the exchange of information. That's unconditional giving and receiving. So you're going to know that this energy is in balance when you're earnest, intelligent, and you're actually valuable to other people. So if you feel like you're valuable to other people and they get upset when you're no longer there, that's how you know you're valuable. When you're out of balance, you're self-conscious and you're apprehensive about moving forward on a lot of different things. You're apprehensive about speaking on things that you think about, or things that you feel. So how to bring this into balance? Speak up and risk embarrassment. You know, they say that there is no stupid question, and I kind of agree with that. I mean, yes, there are some questions that are borderline retarded, right? But it's not anything that you need to worry yourself too much of. All right, Gemini, so here we go to the dice. Ooh, I'm actually doing pretty good for sharing 2 readings in one day. All right, Taurus energy. Taurus, all right, pay attention to your individuality. Understand that you're headed on the right track. Any of you Gemini cusp, Gemini rising, Gemini moon or sun, Gemini Chiron, all of you need to focus in on your values. What are your principles? What standards do you hold yourself to? And understanding that this is your barrier, your boundary that you wish to set with other people, because you want reciprocal energy returned back to you. You're tired of feeling drained. Now, there is going to be a lot of communication that may be centered around spiritual aspects, spiritual concepts, and things of that nature. You're going to start to see both sides, not just of, like, let's say religion, but also of your own fundamental truth. And actually, it might be necessary to look at other things like religions and belief systems in order to understand your own greater truth, because that's what's going to help you make that judgment, and that's what's actually going to help you to understand that the world really is at your fingertips. Like, you have no idea of the of the magnitude of this event that's going on, right? You don't have the Wheel of Fortune, but you do have the World. And that means endings, conclusions to certain things, and that means beginnings to new things, because the World has 2 wands instead of just one. So what's left after that? Aryan type energy. You have that assertiveness of the Mars energy in Gemini. You'll also have the assertiveness of the Mars energy here within the next 2 weeks. So hopefully the first week of December is where you really start to focus in and make the decision to care for yourself. That means I will always maintain my what was it? I will always maintain my mental, or I'm focusing in on the Army values on the back of the book. It says, I will always maintain I will always maintain my mental. No. It has something to do with maintaining your mental health, your physical health, and self-care, right? Those are the 3, those are aspects of what a soldier needs to do in order to maintain themselves. And I feel like you, in this sense, need to encompass the same energy, the same feel, the same tactics, in order to get yourself to glow up. That's basically where you're headed towards. So I'm gonna make sure that inside the description that I'm gonna add the everything that I find on the back of the book, because I feel like all of that is gonna pertain to you somehow. I feel like you've been a soldier in this. There's been a lot that you've been through. All right, so Pluto energy. So we are, let's see, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. So changes are happening. Things that no longer are necessary for you to maintain are going to be blown away. A lot of this has to do with things that were unclear to you. And a lot of this has to do with things that were old habits, things that maybe you've had from past lives, or maybe even things that you have carried from childhood. All right, that was actually a pretty good message. These thoughts are going to influence your physical reality quite a bit. And the one thing that I would say is have patience with your connections, and also have patience with your network, because there's going to be something positive that comes from networking. 2, the decision is yours though. Communication will be necessary. Ooh, excuse me. Once you have the information that you need, forward movement, right? That communication, that Mars energy in Gemini is exactly what this energy is talking about. There's a decision that's going to be made within these next 2 weeks. It's going to be based off of a lot of communication. It's going to be based off of assertive communication that's going to lead you to a certain sense of knowing. Well then, on that front, I would say that you guys are headed in a good direction, and I feel like things are going to be looking very, very positive for you. All right, so I feel like this is the end of your reading, Gemini, and anybody who's affected by this Gemini energy, anybody watching, there's a certain sense of knowledge that you're going to gain throughout this time period, from here till the end of the year, and I feel like it's going to be a very, very beneficial aspect for you. So with that, I'll go ahead and end this reading here. If you guys like this information, go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that share button if you feel like this is going to be useful for other people. And then also hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet, and hit that bell notification so that you can get notified of these videos. So far, I've been popping out at least 2 a day, so I'm going to see if I can pop out at least another one before this day ends. But I really do want to get to finishing all of these before the Thanksgiving holidays hit. So with that being said, you guys stay safe, stay free. You guys are shining stars. Stay shining bright, stay safe, stay free, and I will see you on the next video. You guys take care.